Hello, beautiful souls. This is an incredible response video to a comment so profound and so ready for the masses. If you are at a place in your life where you know that you want something more, and you know, for example, it's nature, it's animals, and it's being creative. If you know those things, then your soul has talked to you. And you may feel like, in this comment was, I have to make money. And so society's got me in a place where I know where I want to go, but I feel stuck because I have all of these obligations in order to just meet my immediate needs. And the most profound statement was when you said, I didn't find my way to get back to where my soul wants me to be because I'm always just surviving. And this is it. This is where we are all at, because society has conditioned us all to feel like we've got to only believe in the third dimensional concept, meaning like what we can see with our eyes and hold with our hands. But there's so much more to life. Here's the breakthrough moment when you decide, okay, I'm going to not just allow that to be a dream. One of the greatest quotes I came across when I was going through this stage of growth was, a plan with, a dream without a plan is just a wish. And so I did not know how to plan. I was not a planner. I always go with the flow. And here's the key layer to the next step. You have to have a plan, some form of a plan, but not necessarily need to follow it. So stay with me, grab a pen and paper, because this can get juicy. So number one thing, I had to take notes because there's just so much to share. First, you really, really want to have faith. You have to know that if you can see it in your mind, you will hold it in your hand. So first, you have to get clear. Like, if it's nature, what nature? Where? Where would you like to be? Start dreaming so big. One of my favorite things to do is called, in therapy, they call it like a magic wand question. So if I was to wave a magic wand for you, and you're going to wake up tomorrow and have anything, everything you could ever imagine. I mean, there is no limits. And here's the best part. There's going to be no work, no effort. It just is. You can be wherever you want to be, doing whatever you want to do with whoever you want to do it with. What would that look like? Absolutely no what ifs, no how, just it is. Magic wand, you're waking up tomorrow. It is. Anything you could possibly dream, what would that look like? That's a really big question. So if you want to start really allowing your imagination to come back, and this is where it gets pinnacle to turn off the distractions. Like when, okay, so you have to go to work every day, and we get into this routine and this habit and stuff, but pretend, what if your boss tells you tomorrow you're fired? What would you do? You would have to start doing research on finding something else. So why not take the time now to start researching, like, where else could you work? And could you work somewhere closer to nature? What does that look like? Is it a possibility? There's so many avenues out there for work that blew my own mind when I was going through this. Like, I definitely didn't have a plan. I just followed my instinct. I knew that I wanted to find nature, and so I just kept driving across Canada. Everywhere had a different frequency. That was the coolest thing. So when I did find where I felt like home, it was nature that I was looking for. And when I found my nature, that's when I was able to find where I was going to work, because it was a brand new environment. I ended up in a small community where there was just so much opportunity because they all needed employees. Everywhere needed employees. So I was able to start with like renting a hotel room, working in, and they had a restaurant in the hotel, and I became a waitress. I had never done anything like that before. I'm social work and childcare, and he was like, "Can you count?" I go, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, you're hired." All of a sudden, I'm waiting tables. It just all started to fall into a flow. It just happened. And I said to him, like, I'm not here to necessarily do this. I want to live here, but I don't know what employment I'm going to do. Not a problem, he says. I understand. Like, if you need to do an interview, you could even do it here. So in the middle of a job, I was doing interviews for other jobs. And I just literally, you just put your resume out you put it out there, and you allow, and again, you have faith that it's just going to find you, because all your soul wants you to do is listen to do what is going to make you happy without that fear. Now, that doesn't mean that it's easy. It doesn't mean that you're not going to feel all of that resistance, but I just keep calling it out. I just say, I see you fear, I see you anxiety, and I command you to leave me now. And I come back to, what if it's awesome? And it's just so magical when you start to do this. So having faith. Talk to your angels. Pray. You have to pray for clarity. Ask all of the time and when you get those instincts, like if you were listening to one of my other videos, I talked about having that instinct where I wanted to go in for the Tree of Life trinket, and it wasn't anything to do with that. It was because of the divine connection that I had with the Reiki master teacher, so that I could become trained to be a Reiki master. And it's those things. So once you start to get clear, like, ooh, okay, here's where I want to be. And when you find that step, then you go, okay, what's the next layer? I would love this. And then come up with whatever it is and start to do the research, ask people questions. I research everything. Like, just go into Google and say, how can I make extra money? There's so many things that will come up. Like, at one point, I collected bottles in the ditches, like, or talk to people about who had so many extra bottles that there's so many people that don't want to take the time to go and do the recycling. They don't care. They'll donate it. They're just simple babysitting, house cleaning, like just all those little odds and ends where it's like could fill in the blanks. Like, we get too stuck in this habit of like, well, again, it's all I could see. It's my job. I can see the doll. That's the hardest, when you have the set amount of money you know you're working with. So letting go of that was really difficult at first, until you realize that a lot of times doing all of these odds and ends make you more money than you could in a 9-to-5, and it gives you the time. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. And so it is so important that you get conscious about every minute that you're spending. And what are you is it investing in your future? Because if you're just going through your day and you don't want to work, and you get home and you're tired and you're just like, oh, I'm just going to munch out on stuff and stare at the screen. How many hours are you doing that? Because if that was 2-3 hours, those 2-3 hours could have been done in research and gave you an idea that you take the next, and all of a sudden transforms your life like the next day. That could happen. That has happened to me. But it's because I don't watch TV. I'm not scrolling on anything that is going to destroy my mind and not help me get excited about something new and next and learn, be wiser. So, cool. Oh yes, the magic wand question, big wishes. Then the research questions. Okay, I already was jumping into the research question, and pray and watch. So once you start to look at, okay, being creative. You mentioned being creative. What? Creative in what? And so again, coming home from work and you're tired, come up with whatever. What is that creative thing that you like to do? And if it's like, at one point, what was it called? Macrame? Like when you're doing those knot stitching. Anyways, I try. At one point I was like, oh, that's going to be interesting. I want to try that. epic fail, but it was really fun to give it a try, to try and find where was my like creative niche. Then I came across a wood burning toolkit thing, and I was like, oh, that's going to be so interesting. And whoo, that took so much patience. Did I ever have a respect for the work that I see done in that regard? That is a skill. Patience. And so that wasn't it. But it's for me, it's videos. It's making inspirational content. I absolutely love being a creator like this. So, but I took the time to do the research, try it out. It's like taste testing. I wish I could tell every child, and every child I've worked with, I do tell, don't just go to school. Go and volunteer and taste test. Ask, can I come into your business for a day? Like, yeah, you're going to see within a day if it's something for you, if you love it. Those are ideas. Then anything that comes up that gives you, I call it my cowbell. Like if you've seen my video, one of my favorite, I gotta grab it. Let me show you this. I absolutely love cowbell. I love cowbell. The sound of cowbell makes me so excited. I can't even express. So anybody that knows me knows, like when I say like my cowbell, that's like my heart center is skipping a beat with excitement. That's the vibration. That's the feeling that you want to follow. So as you're thinking about nature and your animals and being creative, like keep wondering, keep searching, keep exploring, keep trying, and you're going to feel it. It's going to come to you and you will be guided. And when you get that feeling like cowbell, oh my gosh, this is it. You can't hold back. You have to do it. You have to. And even though like in that moment where I was like, hey, I've just got to go. I got to drive across Canada until I find home. There was so many what ifs. There were so many hows that could come up. But I did not allow them to stop. I just said, I have faith. Go back to step one. I've got faith. I'm going to pray for clarity. I know that I'm being guided. And in each moment I was, and you will be. And you just have to have faith. Now, here's the thing. You will have more and more faith the more you keep taking those baby steps. You're going to condition yourself into believing it more and more, because as things happen, you're just like, oh, confirmation of the higher power, confirmation of my angels, confirmation of my inner compass. Here it is. It's happening. Okay, let me go all the way back to at the very beginning. This may help. Very beginning, when I was just starting to learn the law of attraction and following your inner compass and getting that feeling and going for it, even if you have fear, do it anyway. But simpler than that, when you're just asking for something and you want to see if there's going to be a divine alignment, the law of attraction, The Secret, was the very first thing I watched so many years ago that started this. And it was starting with asking for a parking spot. This was so fun. Like when you know you're going somewhere and you can visualize the parking spot, know exactly where you want to park. And I'm telling you, if you have faith, if you've asked, and then you're ready and you're willing to receive, drive in there with confidence, just knowing like you know. That's the thing. I know, and I do that all that, my little thing. I know like I know. I can just go with the flow. I know like I know. I can just go with the flow. And I say that and I know. And so picturing your parking spot, there it is. Or the person's just about to pull out and you're like, confirmation of the higher power. I remember at the beginning too, I was teaching my friend about this, and there's a little hair bugging me. I was teaching my friend about the law of attraction, and he was like very resistant, going like, oh yeah, I could just ask for something and it's going to show up. I'm like, try it. So the one day he was extremely hungover. This is way back in the day. And he had to go to work, and he was opening the business. It was like a bowling alley rec center thing, and he was the manager, and so he had to open, and he really wanted a McDonald's breakfast sandwich so that he could get past his hangover and get through the day. And he was like, okay, well, here's something that I want to manifest. And I said, okay, then the whole way to work, just keep saying thank you and believe it and see it in your hands and taste it in your, and he's just like, okay. And I'm like, just keep saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, It's happening. It's happening. Believe it, have faith, and just know, and just know. And I'll never forget, this was, oh gosh, I've got to do a video with him sharing this story too, because it gets even more divine. But here he is walking to work going like, okay, yeah, right, this is, but I really want, okay, thank you, thank you. So I'm texting him like, keep having faith. And you're never going to believe this, but I do believe this. He messages me as he gets to work. There was somebody in the next building that had a plumbing issue, I believe it was. And so there was a maintenance guy that had to come, and he knew that he was going to be opening and so he just happened to grab him a breakfast sandwich. It was like, oh, that moment, right? And talk about spin off from there. I mean, he went from that to following me across Canada, finding where his divine soul was to be belonged in the mountains. And he slept in a tent until he got a job at the Hotel Ramada, and then manifested like he wanted a blonde girlfriend and a baby and a condo with a south-facing view of Three Sisters Mountains. He got that specific, and I'm not even kidding you. This is decades later now, and he has it all. He has it all. And I have everything too that we ever talked about and dreamed about. But it starts with that. It starts with just having faith, and then asking and knowing, and you will start to just teach yourself. The magic will happen, and you'll know, you'll just know. And that the stronger your flame gets in you, there's nothing that can stop you once you're convinced. And because you'll know. And if you think about it, it really has always worked out for you. We just didn't have the consciousness. Like, so often things are happening that's magical, and we'll call it a coincidence. We'll go, oh, that's neat, as if that happened, instead of being like, that's it, and believing, right? To be able to take the steps through the fears and do it anyways, because it's always working out for you. Everything is always working out for you. Even when it's traumatic, or you think look back and go, wow, you know what? If that didn't happen, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have pushed me. I look at some of my most traumatic experiences in my life, and I could honestly say, thank God they kicked me while I was down. Thank God that it was as hard as it was, because there was no other way that I was going to see another direction. That had to happen to smack me out of it and make me move, right? But now I'm at a place where the universe doesn't have to do that. My angels don't have to drag me anymore, because I'm listening. And that's the key, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful brothers and soul sisters. Okay. So yeah. And then my step 5 was enjoy the magic. So it's like step 1, have faith, pray, ask for clarity. Number 2, question. What are my true wishes? Use the magic wand. Really dream big. Then you're going to do some research. You're going to question. You're going to watch. Watch for those signs. Watch for those instincts. Watch for that. Ooh, I should go and feel like I need to go into that store, or talk to that person, or make that call, or send that text. Like, do it. If it's cowbell, if something is feeling powerful, do it. And then number 4, anything that comes up that's cowbell, that's do it. And number 5, enjoy the magic. Yeah, enjoy the magic. So I took some other notes here. Yeah, divine timing. Divine timing. So sometimes the things that you're working towards don't show up right away, and we'll start to lose faith. But don't. You have to know that it's all divine timing. That's key. And everything is your feelings. It's absolutely your feelings. Just know that you will be guided. And it's about consistency. You can't, it's literally every moment of every day that you can catch yourself and stay in this consciousness and stay in this frequency is really important, because you can't just one night decide to, I'm going to make a vision board, which I suggest. Make a vision board. I've got them all over the place here. Let me see if I can show you. Vision boards. Like I've got affirmations and vision boards everywhere. Everywhere. Because I know the importance of my subconscious mind being influenced. Consistency is so key. If you're not putting in conscious effort every day, you can't just do a vision board one day and put it in the corner and not look at it. Or have a dream one night and then for the next 2 weeks just go to work, come home, watch Netflix and wonder why nothing's changing. It is going to take some effort. And that's just what it is. If you don't make a change, nothing's gonna change. So consistency really is key. Yes, and then I put, clarity, purpose, having tools, finding the skills. So there's so many emotional skills that we have to get through here. When you're feeling like that, okay, with a fear of money, let's say, you have to come back to a grounded, centered place. So deep breathing. If you need more, affirmations are so important. Go and Google affirmations. I am affirmations. There's so many layers of our subconscious mind that are blocking us from believing in a lot of things. So I had to do a lot of affirmations for my self-worth and for my value and confidence and all kinds of different levels. And affirmations really, really help because they retrain your brain. If you don't have anything new to think, how can you think anything new? So we got to put it in there. Take the time. Yes. And I really hope that anything that I've shared today resonates with you. If you have more questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I absolutely love talking deep about all of this stuff. Feel free to please subscribe and click like if something that I shared was helpful. And I intend to make more videos like this consistently because I know that we just don't know what we don't know. And if I've spent my whole life working on this stuff, then I best be sharing it because there's someone out there that's going to need it. So I'm wishing everybody so much love and light as we rise, because the time is now. We're all looking for our cowbell. And you know what it is. And that's it. You're at the crossroads, the most beautiful place that you could be in life, where you're like, yes, do I keep doing what I know I don't love, or start working towards my best life? You got this. I so believe in you. I know that it's possible because I'm living it. And I'm wishing everyone so much love and light towards your best life. Much love.